Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. I recently decided to start breeding racing deer to make some extra money. I'm just looking to make a fast buck. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Tales of the Arthurian Knights from WizKids. In Tales of the Arthurian Knights from WizKids, 1 to 4 players take on the roles of Arthurian Knights as they move about the kingdom, increasing their skills, having stories and adventures, and looking to become the greatest knight of them all. Players are going to select which knight they play and select their own knight dashboard. You're going to put 3 skill tokens on there, and these skills are going to grow and evolve over the course of the game. You're also going to set out the age cards, and the age cards is kind of your timer. Do you want to play through 1 age, 2 age, or 3 ages? You're going to go ahead and set those off to the side as well. You're also going to start the game with a number of status cards you're going to set off to the side. These are not shuffled. If certain game effects happen to you, then that status card will be in play and you'll keep track of it. Now, you're also going to have the kind of book, the adventure book, which really is going to drive the game. Now, the game is played out through a series of phases, and the very first thing you're going to do, the very first phase, is pass the adventure book to the player to your left. Now, in phase number 2, if you have any of those status cards out and you have markers on them, you're going to advance the markers because some of these status effects only last for a number of turns and eventually they fall off. And these status can be good things, they can be bad things, but you're going to adjust the tracks at this time. Next, you have the movement phase. Now, you've got a renown track on the board. You've got different markers showing where you are on the renown track. And the furthest token on the renown track is going to tell you what your movement is. So you're going to go ahead and check that out to see how far you can move on a turn. Now, I should point out there is also quests you're going to be putting out on the board. You're going to have starting quests, and you put markers there. And these kind of tell you the places you want to go in order to fulfill the quest, so you start moving in that direction. Now, depending on where you end on the board, and there's different kind of terrain types and different towns and what have you, depending on where you end, you're going to go ahead and have an encounter. You draw an encounter card. You're going to look at the age, which has kind of those different areas on the board, and you're going to kind of align the numbers on that card with the numbers on the encounter, and that's going to give you the number you're going to look at in the adventure book, and the player who has the adventure book will look at that number and they will read to you that very special encounter. Now, sometimes you may have the location card. The location card may just give you a number. And sometimes you may draw a character. And if you draw a character, it's only got some of the numbers. You're also going to have to draw a feature. And if you draw that feature, you put the character on it so that the number from the character aligns to the number of the feature. And that gives you the number you're going to look up in the adventure book. However you arrive at your encounter, as I say, the other player will read you the adventure, and very often these adventures may have choices. They may have tests, in which case you're going to consult your skills to roll dice to see if you can get successes to pass that skill check. And you may end up gaining more skills. You may end up with some bad things happening. You may go up or down on the renown track. And critically, you may score destiny points, victory points. Players are going around and around. They're adjusting their status. They are moving their characters. They are having the encounters. They are reading encounters for other players. They're making critical decisions. They are suffering penalties or gaining rewards depending upon the decisions they make. Now, if depending on the number of eras that you are playing to, if you get to the end of the era you have all agreed on, then the game is over. You go ahead, you count up all your destiny points, and whoever has the most is the greatest knight and wins. Tales of the Arthurian Knights. Okay, so Tales of the Arthurian Knights. I had, like a lot of people, I had heard all about Tales of the Arabian Nights from years ago, a story adventure game, and I always thought that sounded like it was just going to be fantastic, and I never got a chance to play it, and I was always kind of bummed about that. And so I was really excited when I heard that WizKids was coming out with this game, Tales of the Arthurian Knights. It sounded freaking awesome. And I love the medieval setting. I love kind of this adventure book system. I recently played War Story from Osprey, which is kind of a World War II story game. So I love games with strong story elements. Having said that, of course, these kinds of games frequently have a lot of text, so you got to make sure, are you up for reading a lot? If you're someone like me who loves to read, I think you'll really get a kick out of it. If you're not much of a reader, I don't know, maybe not. But anyway, I was super excited to play this game. So we finally got it to the table. And right off the bat, it's a fairly easy game to grok. It's not a hard game to learn, not a hard game to play. And there are rules for if you want to play it as a cooperative game, you can play it as a cooperative game. But we're, of course, playing the competitive game. And very quickly, I'm charmed with the system whereby you get the encounters, where you draw the card and you match it to the where it is on the era thing, and you match those numbers. I thought that was really cool. And then when you get the characters and you get their feature and you match those numbers, and that tells you where to go. It's just such a interesting and exciting um, system and way to construct these new adventures. I think that is just brilliant. It's fun, and it's not terribly complex or anything. It's a real simple system, and yet it's so fun and so elegant. It really works here. So we played this, and we had these great adventures. We're laughing, we're enjoying it, and also too, the artwork here we really enjoyed. The aesthetic of the game looks good. All told, we were just really thrilled with this game. All of us had a lot of fun because it's so immersive. And like I say, it's a choose your own adventure. And you would almost think this is a kind of game that could benefit from an app. And who knows? Maybe they will develop an app for it at one point. But I got to tell you, I love that book. That book to me is so cool. It's what a great game component. It is so nice and it is so much fun. One of the more fun story-driven games I've played, although I did like War Story quite a bit as well. This game is just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 on the Cody scale. I think this is a phenomenal game. I think you and your friends are really going to get a kick out of it, provided you like to read text. Well, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Please like us there, and please leave comments for us. We'd ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, and please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We really appreciate that. We'd also ask you to please give a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. And if you do like the kind of content we bring here, we'd ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, military history, books on history, fun stuff like that. I also put some of my lectures up on that channel. And I'd also ask you, if you do really enjoy what you see here, then I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. I should really stop making Thanksgiving puns. I guess I'll have to go cold turkey. Please somebody help me on my feet again.